Another leadership strategy that I used was effective communication. Communication can be described as the process of passing a message effectively between one person and another. Communication can be verbal or non-verbal. Probably the main time that I used communication was when I was leading the group through the mountain biking. My job was to lead it for an hour. So one way that I used communication was that when I was explaining to the group where we were going, I would make sure that they came in close to me, i.e. I used the strategy of proximity, making sure they were close so that when I was speaking, they had a good chance of hearing what I was saying. Another thing that I did is I'm quite a quiet speaker, so I made sure that I would use my voice, and I asked the person at the back of the group, can you hear me? And they would reply. A good example is Laurel was at the back of the group, and when I was speaking I said to her, can you hear me, Laurel? And she replied yes, so I knew that my voice was at least loud enough. By using this strategy, what I was hoping to do was to keep the group safe. It was most likely to decrease the risk of people getting lost, which was one of the main things that we identified as a problem in our RAMS form, because if they understood where we were going, then they would keep up with the group, or if they did get separated from the group, they would go to where we were going to rendezvous or meet up. If everybody was in the know of where we were going and understood clearly, it was going to keep people safe, but also it would improve the functioning of the whole group, because everybody would end up at the same place, not necessarily at the same time, but definitely end up at the same place so that we could continue on with the day. If we had lost someone, we would have had to wasted time and put other people at risk, doubling back, trying to find them, and then perhaps other people could get lost too. And the final thing that it would do for the group was it would improve the emotional safety of those individuals who were not that confident anyway. We had a few people in our group that had never really ridden a bike too much other than on flat sidewalk, so they were nervous anyway, and we were wanting them to try and enjoy the activity as much as possible. So by them knowing that where we were going, was hoping to improve their confidence to be able to participate. So did it work? The answer to that is yes and no. So I was able to get everybody in, and I was able to verbally tell everybody what was going on. And I felt I got my message across because I got a lot of nodding and people looking at me and nodding their head as if they understood, which was great. I could see that it definitely did help the functioning of the group, because individuals knew where they were going. Most of the time, or nearly all of the time, the students ended up in the right place doing the right thing. That helped the group function because we were all in one place, we were safe, and we were able to continue on with the day. There was one instance though where two people raced off up ahead, and what they did is they took the wrong fork. Luckily that fork in the road took them to the right place, because both the forks in the track came back together to where we wanted to be. However, if those forks had gone different directions and ended up in different places, we could have had a different situation occurring. After thinking about it, I think probably the best thing for me to do next time, if I was to do it again, would be to make sure that when I get the group in to talk to them, I do a semicircle type situation so that I can see all of their faces and I know that they are looking at me, listening. Because when they're in a kind of a staggered group or just a bunch, it's hard to see whether people are actually truly looking at me. That way I am using proximity or closeness, but also non-verbal communication, because I'll make them face me, I'm facing them, I can see their facial expressions on whether or not they look lost or not. I would also ask questions of a couple of people that I think maybe aren't listening, such as, so where are we going now? Which route are we going on? And then if they can give me the right answer, then perhaps everybody has heard. And finally, I probably would make sure that I do a instruction right next to a sign map where I can point to where we're going as well, so they can see. So once again, that's non-verbal communication combined with my verbal communication.